Good morning, everyone. Welcome to church on such a beautiful Sunday. So glad that you're here. We're going to start our service right now by singing our opening chant, One Life. We are all connected, a global family. There's no separation, only unity. We are one life. There is one life, only one life. We are one life. There is one life, only one life. We combine our voices, we align our hearts. The power of God's within us, we'll never be apart. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, there is one life, only one life. We are one life, only one life, only one life. We
Oh, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 9:45 service here at North Hollywood Church of Religious Science. We welcome you to silence your phone. Those on Facebook and Zoom, hey, how are you? Welcome. And you too can silence your phone. So let's pray. What a blessing it is to stop in this moment. Take that breath. Recognize that is the breath of God right here where we are. In our physical, mental, spiritual, and astral beings, God is in perfect alignment with all of it. So today is a day of celebration. Today is a day of good. We are open and available, and we are listening with a keen ear as Dr. Mark brings forth a word that lights us on fire, that lifts us, that allows us to shift right in this very moment. We're saying yes. Yes, God, I am yours. Something glorious is happening because of this celebration of God this morning, this moment. And we bless our music department, how blessed we are to be fed with the word and the lyric. We bless our media team. They are always on spot, on time. How blessed we are to have them. Take that breath. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Something good is happening because we are here to say God is, I am, and something glorious is happening. So I release this word into the mind of law where it is made manifest now. And so it is. Together, let's say amen.
is in my life. I am here. I am blessed. I am blessed. The gifts of God are in my life. I am blessed.
Indeed, we are blessed. Please stand for the Lord's Prayer. Join me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And deliver us from temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Please remain standing for our congregational song, God is the Love That I Am. 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 And so it is. God is the joy that I am. God is the joy that I am. God is the joy that I am. And so it is. Every day in every way, I have everything that I need. When I say love is the way, I have every chance to succeed. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. And so it is. Where I go, I always know that God's forever on my side. As I grow, I'm in the flow. I only needed to decide that God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. God is the love that I am. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
Okay, we're rocking, we're rocking, we're rocking. And now we're going to be still, be still, be still. Okay, we're going to meditate for a few moments here. Anchor yourself, take that breath in. Focus on your mantra. God is the love that I am. I am that. Whatever your heart speaks to you right now, focus on that. When your mind wanders, come right on back.
Everything I need is right in front of me. Every place I stand is holy ground. Everyone I meet has something beautiful for me. Everywhere I go, it's all around. There is something sacred here, something beautiful, something real and true, something powerful. There is something sacred here, something wonderful that only I can do. There is something sacred here. If I ran around and did 100 million tasks and didn't do what God sent me to do, then I will have done nothing to express the depth of holiness that God made me to use. There is something sacred here, something beautiful, something real and true, something powerful. There is something sacred here, something wonderful that only I can do. There is something sacred here. We don't know just how much time we have, but there's one thing we can do. We can hold a heart of passion for everyone, and every day we have to let God's love come shining through. There is something sacred here, something beautiful, something real and true, something powerful. There is something sacred here, something wonderful that only we can do. There is something sacred here.
All right, good morning. Thank you for being here. Zoom people, Facebook people, YouTube people, we're glad you're with us as well. So I'm going to talk today about what are you worth? You know, it was a real revelation to me when I came into this teaching and I started to understand how spiritual principle actually operated. And one of the things I heard is that nobody can pay you more than you think you're worth. It's like, wow, really? I kind of thought it was them, and they didn't want to give me the money. It's like, no, see, this is a thing of consciousness. If you don't think you're worth much, the universe is more than happy to say, interesting choice, okay, let's support you in that. And by the same token, if you think you are worth the best there is, hint, by the way you are, then the universe rushes in to support that. You are worth the very best that there is. Why? Well, because the great law of life is it's done unto you as you believe. This is it. This is the great law of life, done unto you as you believe. Now, As I tell you how valuable you are, I want you to know that everyone, it's not just you, it's everyone on the face of the earth, regardless of their circumstances, they have value. Because everyone is of God. So you are not, so the idea of not being worthy does not exist in the divine mind. That does not exist in the infinite mind of God. No one is more worthy than you, but also no one is less worthy than you. And so this is what we want to remember, that everyone is worthy. Now, we are not worthy because of anything that we do or don't do. You are actually worthy. This, I think, is the big spiritual truth. You are worthy because of what you are. And the scriptures say that you are the sons and daughters of the Most High. So that means that if you are the offspring of God, if you are part of the infinite, you carry within you everything that the infinite already is. I mean, it's yours. You know, that you are the beloved of God. God just looks at you and says, God, I like them. I love them. They're great. See their picture on my fridge? Aren't they adorable? You know, I think that's how God looks at all of us. So when I was younger and working different jobs, one of the things as I had come into metaphysics I had to learn was to value my own work. Because up until this point, I thought that it was always about the boss valuing my work. I didn't really get this component that it is actually an inside job. So this is really that whole notion of working smarter, not harder, realizing your own value, your own worth. So I remember one time I'd been working for a number of years, and I sort of seemed to hit this invisible ceiling. It was kind of a crazy thing. I just couldn't, no matter how much I worked, no matter how much more time I put in, I couldn't seem to make any more money. So I sat down to meditate about this. I thought, you know, Spirit, I want to know, what's the deal here? Why do I keep hitting this ceiling or whatever it was? And what came to me was so interesting. What I heard was, you are now making the most money your father ever made. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. But I'm asking about me. Why is this about him? But what I had wired was that my dad worked hard, you know. I mean, he really toiled. He was a worker, and he worked really long hours, and I know it was not always easy. And I was starting to love what I was doing. I mean, I was having fun. I was a minister now, you know. This is great. I love doing this. But my dad worked hard. So as I continued to sort of unpack this, what I realized is that I had wired up in my head. This had nothing to do with my dad, really. But I had wired up that I was being disloyal to him and the hard work that he had done for years, you know, to keep our family afloat and going and moving forward. Wow, that was a weird thing, you know, because he never said that, never ever said that. And I knew that he would want me to succeed in every single way, right? So, but here's the thing. See, I came from a long line. I came from a spiritual tradition that focused a lot on being unworthy. And so I heard that idea of unworthy, unworthy, unworthy again and again and again. In fact, I remember in church hearing this when I was young, and looking down our row, and a couple people over from me was my grandmother. And I thought my grandmother was just about the best thing since frosting on a Pop-Tart. You know, she was just great. I just loved her. We all loved her. She was at our home every day. And I look over at her and I think, well, she's not unworthy. If anybody in the world is worthy, it has to be her. I mean, Grandma, come on. You know, she's the best there is. And this really, I think, was the point that got me to start thinking about this notion of being told by someone outside of me that we were unworthy. So I needed to get that unworthy thinking out of my consciousness. And I'm going to tell you that it took some time. It did not happen all at once. But the truth is, spiritual truth with a big T, is that you are worthy right now. Worthy of love, worthy of health, worthy of creativity, worthy of joy, on and on and on. You are worthy. And again, it's not because of what you do, it's because of who you are as the offspring of the divine. You know, there is no unworthy in the mind of God. Unworthy just doesn't exist in that realm. Now, we're surrounded by a spiritual principle that knows absolutely how to fulfill all of our needs. So something, I believe, within us is unfolding it's something within us is unfolding that which it is aware of being. You know, like there's a part of us that already knows that there is spiritual truth in here, that there is love, you know, that we are constantly feeding ourselves with truth. This is the path of science of mind, you know, to not get pulled into the conditions of the world, to not get pulled in the conditions of the 6 o'clock news, and on and on and on. I have to feed myself with spiritual truth every day, multiple times a day. You know, I loved church as a kid. No wonder I wound up here, right? Because I really liked church. In spite of the fact that I would hear a few things that didn't sit so well with me, basically I liked coming together. I knew that something was going on there. And actually I thought something's going on here, but I don't know that maybe they don't know what's going on. You know, because I felt like there was, and I actually really liked being in the church when everybody had left. That was like a really good spot for me, that after everything was over and everybody had gone, I'd sit in the church and I'd kind of just sort of feel, you know, as a kid, I just sort of feel into something and I think, yeah, there's more than they're saying, but maybe they don't even know it themselves, you know. So if we understand the spiritual principle, we stop accepting things in our life that we don't want. Right? If we really have an understanding of spiritual principle, because the Spirit is only seeking to fulfill itself by means of us. And how could that ever be bad? So I ask you today to think about how much are you worth, you know? And this is not about your bank statement. This is not about your investments or any material thing. You know, the elements that make up our body, they say are actually, if we broke down all these elements, that we'd each be worth like a few bucks, you know? But from the infinite mind, right, we are worth so much more of that. So if something is worth, when we say something is worth something, it means that it has value. So if you understand the science of mind, your needs are always met, because you demonstrate supply, you demonstrate loving relationships, you demonstrate health, because this is the natural order of things. Spirit loves to give to us and is giving to us all the time, and we have to learn to be great, big, gracious receivers, right? But again, I go back to what I started with. If you don't think you're worth much, nobody can pay you more than that, right? If you don't think you are worthy, you will not allow good to come to you, because even if it starts coming close to your house, you're going to lock the door and close the shades. You're going to pretend you're not home. You're going to turn the radio up so you don't hear the good knocking, right? So worth, that which is of value. And I am here, and I promise you that this is the truth. If you made it this far, that you're on earth, you have value, right? So what you think about, you become. That's like the bottom line in science of mind, right? We said the great law of life is it's done unto you as you believe. So what you think about, you become. And so if you are on one of those jags where it's like, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, the universe again will say, well, that's kind of an interesting choice, and we support you in that, because that's what the law of mind does. But if you say, by the same token, I am worth the best there is. I am worth the good stuff. You know, when I teach the abundance workshop, I always encourage people to say, if you have anything good in your life, you need to be using it now. Do not be saving it for best, because if you are saving it for best, you're telling the universe, I don't need the good stuff, because I've got plenty in reserve. But if you are somebody who uses the good stuff in your life, the universe says, hey, he really uses the good stuff. He needs more good stuff. You see what I mean here? So I know you've probably heard me say this before, but a couple of years ago, I was disassembling my mother's house. She was going into a home, and part of my siblings and my job was to disassemble her house. And so my sister and I are up in her bedroom, and here is my mother's hope chest, which I have seen my entire life. I never remember her not having this particular hope chest. And my sister opens it up, and we start taking things out. And what I find is every gift I've ever brought her from every travel I've ever taken. From the time I was a teenager, when I first started to travel, that she was like, oh my God, this is lovely. And I said, yes, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it makes you happy. I hope it brings, blah, 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 and stuff. And she'd say, oh yes, it will. And into the hope chest it would go, never to be touched by human hands again until, much later, and it was me. And so the thing that's sad about that for me is that I feel like she could have been enjoying all those things right now. Right now, oh, I'm saving, because my mother used to say, and perhaps yours did too, and maybe you even say this, I'm saving it for best, right? Well, I remember as a kid, and I was a little wiseacre, if I tell the truth. I just liked to stir the pot. And I'd say, oh, you're saving it for best. Who do you like better than us? Do you have like another family on the side that we don't know? Oh, how can you say such a thing? I can't believe my son would say such a thing. It's like, well, if you love us so much, why aren't you using the best now? Why are we saving it? Now, I realize part of that, and I'm joking, but part of that is that there was an effort involved in using the best stuff. She would have to go into the hope chest to get it, you know? I mean, or we'd have to get up on the high shelf to get the good dishes. You know the good dishes? The really good dishes? I would say, let me think, my parents bought a house, I was about 10 years old. Those good dishes sat up in the cupboard, unused for over 50 years. Unused, untouched by human hand. We didn't even look at them. We knew they were up there. It was sort of like this mystical shrine to the best. That someday, the best will be here, and we will use the good stuff. So that's why I'm all about using the good stuff now. Because you're telling the universe, I am worth the best there is. And again, I do not say this from an egoic place. I say this because I believe this is spiritually true about everyone. Everyone is worth the best there is. In fact, imagine if people only accepted the best, there would only be the best out there. There wouldn't be anything seemingly less than that. So again, the reminder is that the spiritual principle absolutely fulfills our needs. That really this comes down to, I believe that what we're always depending upon is our own consciousness, our consciousness of truth. I know enough not to depend too much on other people. It is so tempting to think that the source of good, the source of my good, is outside of me. Oh, okay, I've got to, and what that does is that gives me this idea that, oh, maybe I should compromise because I need this, or I should compromise myself, my values, my idea, my notion of how to work with principle, because, oh, it's so tempting to think that the source, like they're the source of my good. This is the source of my source of my good is out there. Okay, I honestly have learned that lesson again and again and again, that the source of my good is not outside of me. I'm embarrassed to say I had to get that lesson many, many times, and still I have to remind myself on a regular basis that the source of my good is never outside of me. When I believe in an unprincipled way, like the source of my good is outside of me, I get an unprincipled experience. That's what happens, right? See, we each are the complete law unto that which we are. Right? So if you say boldly into the universe, I am unworthy, the universe is just going to say, okay, you got it. But if by the same token you really say, I am worthy because I am of God, I am of spirit, I am of the divine, I am the beloved of God, then the universe says, okay, now you're talking. We support you in that. See, because we are surrounded, Science of Mind teaches us, we are surrounded by an infinite good. Right? And so it is my consciousness that brings that good. It is my consciousness that meets the need. It's not somebody outside of me who, I think is going to come caulk the windows at my house during this rain. It's really my consciousness of having windows that keep the rain out. That's the deal, right? Oh, God. See, because, we teach that good, God, good, is everywhere. We are surrounded by it. And so that's my work, to work on that consciousness of good. I live in an infinite sea of God's good, and so do you. And so as an expression of the infinite, you are worthwhile. And so is all that you do. Everything you lay your hand to is worthwhile. We have to have a consciousness that says, I have value. I am worthy. It occurs to me that, self-esteem is loving yourself even when you don't like yourself, right? I mean, that's really one of the ways to look at self-esteem. It's loving yourself even when you don't like yourself. It's essential that for all of us, I think that we behave in a loving way toward ourselves consistently and frequently. This is what helps to build self-esteem. We all know this. Love is a verb. That means it's an action word. The verb describes activity. So loving yourself is something you do, and when you do it enough, You will feel it. You will feel better. You will know. The behavior is in your control. The feeling maybe not so much, but the behavior is absolutely in your control. So I would ask you today, in what way do you value you? See, because our experiences only have the meaning that we give to them, right? There isn't an inherent meaning in it. It's we project meaning onto it. This means something to me. This means something to me. What you call, how you name or how you call the experience, it will be. So it is my consciousness that makes me what I am. Right? That's why I think we have to, as students of this teaching, have to work on our consciousness every day, because that's what it takes. Now, this stuff really works if you really work with it consistently. Somebody said to me recently, they said, oh, well, I took classes at church and stuff, and I didn't really think it made any difference in my life. And I thought, that's not possible. It is not possible that you engage in the study of truth, and if you give it time and attention every day, so consistently, so sometime every day, it's impossible for that to not affect your consciousness in a positive way. But, there are lots of things that we do that keep us from moving forward, like having a stinky attitude, don't you want to go out and meet some new people and say, hey, why don't you become a friend in my life? I'm looking for some people with a lousy attitude. That's going to be great. Yeah, that's going to take up a lot of time. Yeah, I want to pour my life force into somebody with a really bad attitude. So, the point is that we work on our consciousness every day, because that's what it takes. And so it really does. Principle always responds, and it responds by corresponding. So I used this quote Saturday in my goals workshop, where Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Either way, you're going to be right. If you say, I can do this, you're right. And if you say, I can't do this, you're right. So for me, it isn't the teaching that disappoints ever. It's not. It's me. It's I don't show up and use, by say use, I mean work intelligently with the teaching the way it is intended to be. So I guess I could say that I disappoint myself in the application. So I think about this a lot, because some people come into the teaching and they grab hold of it and it makes a huge difference in their life and they just run. Other people come into the teaching and they kind of, brush up against it lightly again and again, and they think that something really miraculous is going to happen. It's like when some people pray, stuff happens, and some people pray and it seems like nothing happens. Now, I think all of it is actually happening. The person who it feels like nothing is happening, what I think is happening is their consciousness is being prepared so that prayer can actually unfold in their life. Nobody likes to be told what to do we? I hate being told what to do. I always have. And so when I hear about what I could be doing spiritually, I have to say, well, this is not a should, right? This is not like, I'm not trying to should on anybody here, but it's like, if I want to have the optimal experience, if I want to really investigate, does science of mind improve the quality of my life experience on earth? Does science of mind give me the ability to reach out beyond what I could reach out, where I could reach out? Then yeah, absolutely. Because the law of mind that we are operating with has to be told. It needs direction. It has to be set in motion. And this is what we do when we speak our word. We are setting the law in motion. Right? So it's all given freely, and yet nothing is free, because we pay the price in spiritual coin, in mental and spiritual coin again and again. So you are so much more than you give yourself credit for. Honest to God, you are so much more than that. And I know if we've had something that seemed like not a success, or we've had a failure, or something hasn't gone well for us in the recent years, we seem to think, it seems like people move into that belief, and they think that's all of who they are. And I would say that's just the smallest part of who you are. It's not even who you are. It's an experience that you have been through, that you have just passed through. You're here for a purpose, to be you, to reveal your greater yet to be. So this is how it goes. First, we work on the consciousness. then we get specific about our thought, and then there's a manifestation, right? Because this level out here, a physical manifestation, is the last level where things appear, right? It all cooks in consciousness first, goes through our thought, and then we have a manifestation. Is it me or is somebody vacuuming? It could be that my mother is with us this morning. Yep, because she was fond of the vacuum. Okay, so the point is, the more we stick to the principle, the more we will change the world that we live in. Honestly, because this is how the world will change according to principle. So the one mind unfolds to me according to my thinking. The one mind unfolds for you according to your thinking. This means that your mind is the power. So I talked last week about Adam and Eve in the garden, and you know, it says that God gave Adam dominion. Right? So that meant that he could name all the animals in the garden. He called it. So I guess animals came forward and he said, I don't know, platypus, tsetse fly. Yeah, okay, but it wasn't, the point about that I want to make there is that we call our experience good. We call our experience loving. We call our experience beneficial, right? So just like Adam in the garden, we have dominion over our experience, and we are the ones who get to call it. So if you say it's bad, if you say it's horrible, if you say this is the worst thing that can happen, the universe says, okay, interesting choice, we support that. But if you say, I don't see how, but I know good will come of this, because God is everywhere equally present, and I now have the vision for good to come out of this. I am willing. Tell yourself, I am worth the best there is. Because if not for you, who is the best for? Really, if not for you, then for who? And remember, so is everyone else, worthy of the best there is. Does anything come up for you when you say that? Because if it does, that's the flag. That's the red flag. That shows us where our work is, that there's something still in our subconscious mind that says, I don't know. I'm just a little uncomfortable with that. When we have that squiggly feeling, that's actually really good, because it shows us where the doubt, where the lack of faith, where the unbelief is in our subjective mind. So let's tend to that right now when we pray. So we'll turn our attention inward for a moment to become still together in consciousness, focusing on the Spirit, the presence, the love, the life that is God, that's everywhere, and it's right where we are. That Spirit of the living God is the most true, most real thing about each and every one of us. So knowing that God is fully present, that it surrounds us, it fills us, that it's the truth of our being, I further know that we are all connected on the unseen side of life, that in the mind and heart of God, we are all connected. In fact, we are one. There is only one, we're it. And so in this awareness, I speak the word for each and every one of us that we have a shifting upward in consciousness, and we know that we are worthy. We are the beloved of God. We are worth the best there is, and so is everyone else. And so as we move about our day and we see people in the world, we might silently say to ourselves as we look at them, you are worth the best there is, because you are God's perfect expression. You are worth the best there is because you are God's perfect expression. True about us, true about everyone on the face of the planet. And so we include in our prayer today our family members and friends, parents and children, all of those we love and hold near and dear, and we see them in our mind's eye. And we know, we believe, and we declare a great spiritual truth about them, that they are the beloved of God. They are worthy of every good and perfect thing. I know nothing is withheld, because the infinite mind knows only to give of itself. And so we let our prayer be a blessing in the world that we live in. So all of those situations that pull at our attention, all of those situations where it would make us feel, I don't know if I have the belief or the faith to take this on, we know that right there, even in the midst of that, God, in all of its fullness, is present right there. Spirit is there, on the job, 100%. So nothing can be missing, nothing can be lacking. So we declare peace, peace in the world that we live in. We call it a peaceful, loving place. And so the more we say that, the more it must follow that it becomes that. So I believe this is the truth. We bless our church, we bless all churches everywhere. synagogues and temples and mosques and ashrams, all paths, every path to God. We bless them all. I know that we are blessed by being together today, that we get raised up, that we are healed, that we are whole and perfect in every way. So with a full heart, I say thank you, God, that this is so. Thank you for us together, for this blessed, beloved community. And with a full heart, I release this word into law, and so it is. Together we all say, Amen. All right, we'll sing one time together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
All right, I invite you to hold your gift over your heart, and we'll say our statement of giving together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you very much.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues that come to greet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. The raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining. 'cause there's one thing I know. The blues, they come to greet me, won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. The raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining. I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining. I'm never gonna stop the rain.
Thank you, beautiful Susan K. Wyatt. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sam, Karen, our media team. We're so blessed to have all of you serve. Magnificent. Thank you, Dr. Mark. I'm taking the grandma's china out of the cabinet today. It's no longer for Thanksgiving only. Okay, we have some announcements here. There's so many wonderful ways for you guys to participate in your spiritual community. Here's just a few of them. If it's your first time here, we're so delighted. Welcome. And please stop by our welcome table outside and get a packet of information just for you. You can make donations to our church through text to give, the QR code, or through the website, nhcrs.org/give. And we also are a tithing community, so come out and support us. Prayer with a Practitioner is available after service in person here or on Zoom. Facebook YouTubers, go over to Zoom, and you can have a prayer with a practitioner. This Wednesday night, 6:50 meditation, 7 o'clock service with Reverend Sidney Steen. And this week's topic is the power of nonviolence. We're starting the season of nonviolence, so please join us Wednesday night. Our youth and family ministry supports kids from toddlers to teens. Sunday, 9:45. Bring the kids out. Join us. We have a good time. Today, 1 p.m. at the Ernest Holmes Room in person is grief support with practitioner Mary Hyland. It's the first time since the pandemic we're meeting in person, so all are welcome. Also today, 1 o'clock here in the sanctuary, Mary Catherine O'Hart facilitates a wonderful healing service, and that's here, so please join us. And we have a great class coming up, Beyond Limits, with Reverend Sidney. It's our new foundational class. You can sign up today. Part 1 starts Tuesday, January 17th. Part 2, Tuesday, February 28th. The class meets in person, 7 to 10 p.m. It's a dynamic class. It's teaching the science of mind principles, how to use the spiritual law to create your life, to celebrate your life beyond limits. That's where you want to be. Let's anchor it and join this class. Yay! $245 for this cost. You can do 2 installments. And come and anchor your life. Living A Course of Miracles with our beautiful practitioner, Jean Laporte. It meets Thursday, January 19th from 7:15 to 9:15 on Zoom. It's a Zoom link. It's on the website. Guess what? We got something really fun happening. See, here at this church, everything is really fun and really healing. How wonderful. So this Friday night, practitioner Mark Crowell, he's starting the Creative Arts Ministry, and we're having our first God's Open Mic Night. Come on out, 7 p.m. in the sanctuary. There's more information on the patio. Please come play with us. It's going to be so much fun. We're also collecting new and gently used blankets for the homeless. There is a red bin on the patio. You can drop them there. Another exciting thing, Dr. Mark is taking a group to Bali, September 5th through the 5th. I know. Information and a brochure is out there in the patio and also on the website. We got so many ways for you guys to play and participate. Zoom virtual patio, Wednesdays and Sundays before and after church. Zoom meditation, Monday through Saturday, 7:55 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. What a way to start the day. And everything you need to know, where is it? NHCRS.org. Peace out.
Great, Liz. Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much. All right, we have practitioners who are here to pray with you at the conclusion of our service. So practitioners, come on up here if you're in the house, and let's stand and we'll sing the peace song. So please repeat after me. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for choosing church.